a guide to Wihi thesis management system. On the lower left you can see which role is displayed at each point. So starting off as a student role, this is the view you get when you log in. So we go to the upper right, here's the name, the role, your entitlements, like so. Next to it is the language wizard, and then there's the information for the manuals here. And there's the front page from there, and as you can see, you have to create a topic proposal first to begin. So you click here to make the topic proposal, no other group members, add the name of the thesis in Finnish and in English, like so. Then the specialization, if you have one. I just add business management, and the start and end date, the planned dates only, not definitive. The type of your thesis, from here there's a few to choose from. You can edit this later, so choose the one you think it is first. Some guide times. This is the only one that you have to fill for now, the description. All of these you can add later. If you have done the thesis plan, of course, you can add these now. Then the commissioning information. If you have a commissioner, you add the information of your contact here. Then readiness, you can add it later. And you commit to the practices of thesis. You can save draft or just submit. I just submitted. So let's now go to the coordinator side. Here's the coordinator's view. First we'll update the page, and we see that there's a recent topic proposal here, today made. Same information, the roles you can switch from here. The language switcher, the same. The manuals for this role. And some few pages here. Front page now here. Here you can find the topic proposals. The next one. Active projects, if there is any, will be listed here. There's none at the moment. And thesis to be registered is in the last phase. So theses that are in the last phase here. In the reports you can view how many works have been done and in what phase at the moment. The archive, where you can find all the completed theses, and the search feature if you can't find what you're looking for. But yeah, let's go to this thesis 2 that we just made. Here we can see the basic information about it that was just added. You can accept, reject, or just straight away add an advisor. So we'll just accept it first. No comments there. Submitted. Go to the front page. It's not there anymore. And then we go to the student's view back. We refresh the page and we see that the topic has been approved, but we don't have an advisor yet. So now we can't do much here, only add the planned dates for each of these phases. Like so. We can also edit the information of our topic proposal if we know more, and we can edit them at pretty much any point. We can also now create tasks which are like self-made mini phases, like finding sources for the thesis. I'll just make one here quickly, and we will add planned start and end dates for these tasks as well. And only the student can make these. Edit, delete, and the progress of the task. Now going back to the coordinator, let's switch to advisor role. And here, when we refresh the page, there's nothing yet because the advisor doesn't have any topic proposals. So we have to go to the coordinator's point of view, to the topic proposals, and the one we just accepted but does not have a advisor, So we open it here. See, there's no advisor, and we have to add an advisor. So I'll just add myself. We can also force the advisor to accept the work. There, it has been sent. Now I'll change back to the advisor's role, and now we see that we have a pending topic proposal, the same page as this one here it leads to. So these are pending evaluation are for the second advisor or second evaluator. Thesis to be registered is the same as in the coordinator's point of view for the end of in the last phase thesis. The report view, the archive, we can see there's a work here already done by this advisor, and we can change the settings from here. So here's only one setting, which is the email notifications, which you should check which you want to. Do you want to get immediate emails from every activity, or weekly, daily, or none at all? The same, the help is here and this language switcher. So now let's go back to the topic proposal, and let's check the information is here, and we'll approve it. So now we're taken to the workspace of the thesis. Back in the student's point of view, when we refresh the page, now we see that the view is a bit different. We now have the advisor, so we can start with the project plan. So we upload the project plan here. Also we'll upload the thesis agreement here in this phase, and then we will add a comment about the starting meeting of this thesis, like so. We can also delete the message and the file if we are the owner of it when the phase is active, and we can now mark this task that it is in progress that we made before we began. We can also edit the information at this point if we want to update. Back to the advisor's view. When we refresh here, we see that the comments are here from the student. The task is in progress, and there's these two files now. We can also add a comment here. Like so. And then when we deem that this phase has been progressed enough, we can just accept the phase and move on to the next one with comments or no comments, and accept it. So now we are in the first actual thesis phase. This one is completed, and we are in the thesis 1 of 3. When we update this page here, we see that this one has been approved, and this one has opened the next one. Like before, we can upload files, so we'll add the first version of this fictionary thesis, add some comments, like so, and we'll just mark this task as completed by ourselves. Back in the advisor's view, refresh, and we see that the file and the comment is here. We can also add activity notes. I'll come back to that later, but now we can just accept this phase as completed and move on to the next one. At this point we have to add the R&D credits, so I'll just add 5, approve. There, this phase is completed and this phase has opened. Go back to the student's point of view and refresh the page. Here we can see it's completed, and the phase 2 is open. Same, we'll just add the next version of the thesis here and some comments. Like so. Back to the advisor, refresh the page. See, there's a comment here, and there's the thesis version 2. Now we can send this for external comments with this button, or any file we have in Wihi. Let's add it to myself. Subject comments and the messages Just simple, what do you think? Submit, I'll come back to it when I receive it. And here is where it will appear statements by the interest groups. We've sent one, but we don't have an answer yet. Back in the student's point of view, refresh, and we see it has been sent, but there's no reply yet by the advisor. We can also send it as a student. And back in the advisor's point of view, this activity note, like I scratched on before, is for marking activity when the student cannot do anything about his thesis. So if the student is inactive for a long period of time, his work or his thesis will be marked as inactive. So I'll just added an activity note, which can be seen here that this is an active thesis now. If we go to the coordinator side here, the coordinator can see if the thesis is advancing and active. So if it's not active for a long time, it will become inactive. Back to the advisor's point of view. Still waiting for this one. And here it is. This is the message I got from Wihi. There's the subject and the topic, and I got a link which is valid for 2 weeks. I open it here. So this is what it looks like. The sender, the date, the title, the message, and here's the file I sent. And then I can just reply as an external commentator. I just add very good here and send. Close the window, and now when I refresh, I can see here in the statements that there's now a reply by an external commentator. And we'll just continue with the thesis. So here's the version 2 for the student with some remarks. Going back to the student's point of view, refresh. Here we can see the reply, and here's the version 2 with remarks. And now we can upload the version 3 back to the advisor, like so. Let's go back to the advisor's view, and now we can accept this phase. No comments, and now we are in the last thesis phase, 3 out of 3. So now that we are here, we can see that there's this plagiarism checking available now. Let's add a comment. Some remarks, and add a file back. Version 3 with some remarks like so. And then we'll go back to the student's view, refresh. It's completed, the phase 2, phase 3 is open, and here's the plagiarism check. And here's the version 3 with remarks. Now we can upload still files normally without uploading them to the plagiarism check, and send comments. And ultimately the goal is to send the last version to the check. So let's go to the advisor's point of view and refresh again. Here we see, here is some comments about it. We'll just comment back, yes. Let's go for the check. So only the student can send the file to the plagiarism check. And yeah, the idea in the last phase of your thesis usually is that you have the maturity exam after the ending discussion, after you have displayed the results of your work. And you will then add the last version of your thesis to the check. Now it's been analyzed here, so we have to wait for it for a while. Now if we move on back to the advisor's point of view, we see here that, refresh again, there, the file has been sent to plagiarism check. So we have to wait for it for a while. In the meanwhile, we can set the second evaluator, which is mandatory. I'll just add this fake name here. And after we have the second evaluator, we see this evaluate thesis pops up. And here it says that in order to give the final grade, we have to have the second evaluator and the plagiarism check done. Edit some information from here and then evaluate the work based on the categories and add a statement and the language of the maturity exam. I'll just write something here now in the meanwhile. So you can use the grading matrix to create the statement, or just write a personalized statement by yourself. The language is English, obviously here. We'll save this as a draft because we are waiting for the check to be completed. Let's refresh and see. Still waiting for it. And now it's done. Here we see it's a 100% plagiarized work, so it should be rejected, but because this is a demo, we will accept it anyway. In the student's point of view, we see the same, and we can deny this from being checked in the future if we send the same file over and over again, because it will turn out as a 100% plagiarized work. So here is the exemption status. So now we can see that it is exempt from the use of reference in the check service. Now back in the advisor's point of view, we'll just accept this work, even though it's not good to. And now when we open the evaluate thesis window, we see that now we can actually, I also added the second evaluators like evaluation in the meanwhile. But now we can evaluate all these categories. And if you don't have a second evaluator, you can just add one of the Wihi admins to be the second evaluator, and they will mirror the categories and do not do actual grading. But now we have the statement, both evaluations, the check. Now we can accept the evaluation. So this will be the final. Okay. Now we move to the next or the last phase. So now we need a link to the published theses. Now all of these theses that we do here need to be uploaded to the national Thesis archive system. So the student has to upload it there using the instructions provided at Sank's webpage, and then bring the URL link from Thesis to Wihi and submit it here, like so. And then the advisor needs to go and approve the link, check it's correct. So when we refresh, we see that we need to now go to the Thesis to be registered tab to accept the URL link of the file, the final thesis. Here we see the link is here. We can view the evaluation and approve the URL. We'll just approve it and choose the final version that was evaluated. Approve. There. So now the project is complete and it has been archived, and it can be found here. The advisor can look at it, and the student and the coordinator can also look at the final version. Here you can see it's completed, all the phases have been done, and here the student can download the evaluation statement, and there's nothing else for the student to do here. And the coordinator can also see or observe the work in the archive like so. This is what it looks like when it's done. And that is basically how you do a thesis from zero to finish using the Wihi management system. Thank you.